Okay, so good morning. It's early. It's about quarter till 6 Eastern time here on December 20th. And I've been up for 2 hours, gotten a lot done, gotten a lot more accomplished, and a lot more thought about. But I wanted to take a minute and just decided I'm going to start doing these podcasts live stream. Don't know when they're going to be done. Don't know if anyone will ever watch them live. But honestly, I am tired of doing video edits. And it didn't really matter anyway. When I'm live, I can't second guess what I've said, and I can't worry about anything related to whatever. So it gets me on task, it gets me focused about what I need to say. Now, why even do a podcast in the first place? Well, I've been doing it for a very long time, and I really enjoy it. Why? Because I do. It doesn't matter. You might not even be asking why, but I'm just telling you why anyway. So today I want to talk about some changes and some transformation that I've had over the years and that I've been able to really embody in such a way that has become powerful for me. For 4 or 5 years, I lived in a lot of, let's make it even clearer, I lived in a state of turmoil. I didn't know it. I lived in a state of insecurity. I didn't realize it. I lived in a state of anxiety that I was not able to see. And so when these things became aware to me, not usually, it was just because of the bottom of the barrel type experience. So it's very difficult to put my finger on the catalyst of those things. But at the end of the day, looking back, vision is always clearer moving backward. But when you're looking back, you're able to see exactly what's happened, exactly what's taking place, exactly what it was that caused you to fall apart. Well, one thing is true is that it was no one's fault but my own. Now, do we have to put blame? No, but we always have to make sure that we understand where responsibility lies. And so if someone is able to take us and put us in a place emotionally or in a place physically, and I'm not talking about like capturing us and then tying us up and throwing us in a box, but physically in the context of your health, or cause us to make decisions in that way, then we are not in control. We are not free. And there's never a time, especially for those of us who are in the faith. When I say the faith, I'm talking about the gospel, the good report of Christ. But we who are in the faith, we should never be driven, ever, by anyone else. No one else should drive us. No one else should get in the car of our minds and our souls and our lives or our faith and put us in a place where we don't want to be, or that we aren't aware of the fact that we are heading. So with all that said, there's a lot of people in the world. There are a lot of people in this life that we will meet. And the sad truth is that some of us will never meet ourselves. We'll never meet who we really are. And at the end of the day, that's a horrifying experience when you actually look in the mirror and you're able to see who you really are. Now, some people can say, well, I looked in the mirror and I saw the depths of how bad I was, and I was able to see how my alcoholism did this, and how my abusive nature did this, and how my past did this, and how my trauma did this. And okay, great. That's amazing. And then some changes took place. But what about people who don't have that story? What about people who walk in a manner that the world would look and say, okay, this person has everything that I ever wished I could. This person is everything I strive to be from the outside looking in. I see that's sort of the way I think people look at others, especially people in my position. I always wish that I could be grounded or I could be secure. And other people looked at me and thought, well, I just wish I could be grounded, be secure like James, But under the surface, and we're unaware of this, there's always something lacking. There's always something else going on. And I want to put it to the test today. Okay, so you might say to yourself, I am able to say securely that, man, I'm living the dream. Somebody said that to me yesterday. I'm living the dream. Okay, when people ask me how I'm doing now over the last 8 to 10 months, I answer this way: today is the best day of my life. And they always laugh. I don't care how old or young, how pretty or ugly, how rich or poor or whatever, they always laugh. Well, that's hilarious. What happened? And sometimes I'm able to say, well, my tire, I had a flat tire, I had a dead battery, my dog got hit by a car, true story, a couple of months back. She's okay now. This, that, and the other, whatever, no big deal. People go, why is it the best day of your life? Well, because it is the only day of my life. This is the day I get to be alive. This is the day that I'm able to say is the only day of my life. Because I've had days past, but I may not have days future. But right now, in this moment, one of the reasons I think live streaming these podcasts are so important for me is that this is present in the moment. There's no edit option. Just like in life, there's no edit option. And so when I get up every day, I woke up a little bit before 4 o'clock this morning because I went to bed around 10:20. So I get up and I just can't wait. I try to, you know what? I shouldn't get up this early. Let me try to go back to sleep. Not going to happen. I'm so excited to get up and to face the day because today is the best day of my life. No matter what comes, no matter what will land on me, it's great. Now, today is day 622 without anxiety. 622 consecutive days with no anxiety in my life and no anxiety in my body. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have bad things or stressful things or things that could just upset me. There are a lot of things in my life that are out of my control, but from my perspective, they are not out of control. There's a huge difference. Now, some people, especially, my brothers and sisters in the faith, they're like, what kind of garbage and mumbo jumbo is James talking about? Folks, if you believe in the sovereignty of God, if you believe that God by his power upholds the cosmos, if you believe that everything has a purpose and that God in his wisdom and in his love causes everything to work together for those who love him, then that is a true statement. Nothing is out of control, even though we may not have control. Okay, so we'll just sort of let that there for the hypersensitive. And it's okay to be hypersensitive, and I think you should be, but not to the point that you reject even good and reasoned ideas. So now you get the point. Nothing's out of control. Nothing's out of control in my life unless I'm out of control. Friends, you have the potential. You have the ability to frame your life in such a way, knowing that it is in control. And I'll tell you how you test that. No matter what you say. Some people say, you know what, I'm confident. Good. I'm glad. Somebody says, I have a good estimation of my personal worth. Great. I'm excited to hear that. I'm excited. And for those of you who are catching this live, you want to listen to the whole thing. Some people say, you know what, I've just overcome great adversity. That's amazing. I love to hear those stories. But do you have joy? Is joy that on which you stand? And is joy that which is at the top of you? Is your life sandwiched in the context of joy? Now, joy is the product of a life in control. Joy is a product of knowing who you are. Joy is a product of understanding that today is the best day of your life. It doesn't matter what comes, what will, it is. So test it for a minute. Do you have joy? You could be happy, but you know what? I could be happy right now, but if I spilled this coffee all over, 2 weeks worth of papers and work and books and all over my clothes and on my laptop or my tablet, I'm not going to be happy about that. I'm like, yay, I love tearing things up and ruining things and having to clean all this mess. Yay. That's not the point, but joy is there. Hey, what will? This is okay. This is okay. I had to learn that joy rests in the darkest hour. For those of you who don't know, in March the 4th of last year, I had a complete emotional break. Not a psychological break, not a mental breakdown. I had a complete emotional break where I was done. I was done with life. I was done with my faith. I was done with my family. I was done with everything. By April the 8th, my My mindset shifted in such a way that I'm able to say 622 days with no anxiety. I'm able to say 622 days ago, the guy that I used to be died. Well, it was actually before. It was March the 4th of last year. The old me, the 48-year-old me, died. And now, the person that I am today, I'm getting to know more and more every day. And it is important to hear what I'm saying. Why? It's just my story. And if the freedom that I have, if the joy that moves in my life every single day and comes out of my life every single day, if you can find it, if you can understand it, it's not just saying, yeah, I believe in Jesus. You know what? A lot of things and people believe in Jesus. It's not just saying, well, you got to have discipline. Well, that's not wrong. But you can't discipline yourself into a place of freedom. You can't discipline yourself in a place of discovery. You can't discipline yourself to a place of authenticity. It's part of the process, but it's not what's going to get you there. What's going to get you there is taking a real hard look and understanding how to see the world through whatever lens you look through it, and recognizing that there is a lens that you're looking through. And if you're looking through the wrong lens, you're never going to find the joy that you're looking for. And I can't make you see it. You have to go through the fire. And there's a whole lot there. Now, some of you might think, what are you talking about? I'm just wanting you to test to see if your confidence, if your groundedness, if this world you live in, if you're too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed, great, test it. Are you joyful right now? Whatever fire is burning you, are you joyful? And if you're not, then you're missing out. Not that you got it wrong, you're missing out. Friends, I say this often, and I say this with great humility, but I am unshakable and unmovable and unbreakable because I've been in all those places, shaken and moved and tossed around and broken. And now that I've seen who I was in the state, now that I've seen and been empowered to be the man that I am becoming every single day, now that I recognize that my goals in life are not the end, but just part of the destination, that there's a journey here, and that ultimately this isn't my space anyway. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. So the ground is joy. The covering is joy. And some of you may or may not be able to really just, I don't know, to see what I'm saying. Some of you may not even want to see what I'm saying. But if you do, pay close attention, because my social streams, my podcast, you're going to start seeing a whole lot of different types of people. You're going to start seeing a whole lot of folks that you've never seen before. It's going to start becoming sort of odd to my normal viewers. Yeah, I'm going to keep preaching. I'm not going to hide my faith, but I'm going to live in my faith. I'm going to live in this body. Let me just quote Paul, by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And I'm going to live according to what the scripture teaches about the renewal of the mind, about learning, about freedom, about autonomy. And I'm going to live, I am living that way. And it is the greatest place on earth, is to be free. It is the greatest experience of life. For you to be able to say, hey, today is the best day of my entire life. No matter what will, let it come. It's the best day. Even when we're lamenting, it's the best day. Even in the dark, there's light. Even in the hardest of sadness, there is joy. So here we go. Good morning. I'm glad you're joining me on this little rant adventure. And go get your life.